Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Thank you all for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to make a video about DoorDash. I've made a few before, and I was working for DoorDash at the beginning of the year, throughout the year. But the last few months I stopped, and then I restarted just again a few days ago. And I was just going to make a video just explaining in case anybody is interested in DoorDash or doing or any other kind of food delivery service, just kind of the expectations or what you have to go through. It's really easy to sign up with DoorDash. You just go to the website and then you just fill out a little bit of information. I didn't even have to show my insurance or anything like that. I think you do have to show your license, and I really can't remember, but it was really easy, and it didn't take too long to get approved. I think it might have been like 24 hours or a few days. I really don't remember. But I think it's harder with Uber, or it takes longer. Not necessarily harder, and I think you might have to show something with your insurance. I don't really know. I've never driven for Uber, but the DoorDash was really easy to sign up for. And if you like driving, if you like kind of like being on your own, being your own boss, and kind of you get to make your own schedule pretty much. And you're in your own car, you can listen to the radio, or you're kind of just at your own will, I guess you'd say, to do whatever, to do the best job that you can. Whatever kind of work ethic you have, that's going to turn out, either good or bad, depending on, really how you work on your own. If you're somebody who needs a lot of direction and not too sure about yourself, doing something like this, because you're going to be out in the public, you're going to have to be speaking, to the restaurant, and some customers you might have to have contact with, but most of them really want no contact. Almost, I'd say about 90% of the orders that I do are no contact orders. And there is one thing that you do have to have the enough gas for each day to do your deliveries with how much time or whatever your I guess mileage that you want to do. If you're doing it by the mileage, or if you're doing it by the number of deliveries, you have to kind of have a calculation of how much gas you're going to use, and you have to have it every day. And you get paid once a week. You get paid on I get paid on a Tuesday, but I do think it goes in on Monday. And some people do get paid on Monday, but it kind of depends on your bank. So you will get paid within a few days, I guess, from the beginning of the week. And that's every week, which I really love that. And you can do the fast pay, but I think that's daily. But when I was trying to do it, my bank, I use a credit union, and they did not, they don't do business with that third-party app it's not really a third-party app. I don't know. It is a third party, but it's through the DoorDash app, I believe. I tried to do it one time, a long time ago when I first started. And it was actually an issue with my credit union. They don't accept that third party or whatever. And you have to think about your car, how much mileage you want to put on your car, how much wear and tear. Do you have a plan for flat tires, or if you need car maintenance or something like that? Oil changes, you have to make, regular oil changes. Keep your car maintained really good brakes, because you don't want any accidents happening like that. And you have to, if you're not good at driving, if you get nervous or you don't like driving, then this probably isn't the job for you. But I love it. I really love it. And you kind of have to be able to deal with making sure you take a picture of the order, because they have no contact deliveries, which means they're going to leave a little notation on the, you'll get the, when you get the order, it'll have customer instruction, and sometimes it'll say no contact delivery. Customer wants no contact delivery. Or it'll say call customers so that they can meet you at the door or whatever. Or knock only, don't knock, use the doorbell, because a lot of people have kids that are asleep. And I found this out. A lot of people like to order food after their kids are in bed, and they don't want the kids to know. So you can really make somebody upset if you knock on the door when they put do not knock on the door, because I've had several people put don't knock on the door in all caps. My kids are asleep. I don't want them to wake up, or, and one guy, I thought it was just for that reason, not waking them up. But one guy's like, yeah, we always order our food. We feed our kids first, and then we order him and his wife ordered their food after they put their kids to bed, because he said, we like to eat junk food or whatever. We don't want our kids, they want to eat, pizza and, hot wings before they go to bed. And they didn't want that. They were, trying to keep a good, a good diet for their kids, which that's good. And he said, I don't like to share anyway. So I thought that was funny. And you do have to kind of, well, going back to that, I would take a picture anytime you leave it on the door. You kind of need to leave enough room so they can open their door, because some people don't do that. And I've gotten a few notices, because that's happened to me before, where I couldn't open the door. Somebody left a package on the door, and I couldn't hardly open the door. It was really heavy. And there's an incident that just recently occurred with the DoorDash driver. I don't know if anybody knows, or I'm sure a lot of people know about this. The CVS manager that said she didn't get her food delivered, but it showed up on the video that it was delivered to her, and the driver went back and confronted her. I've never had any incident like that. I've had somebody say that I didn't deliver it, but I actually did, but I delivered it to the wrong, it was a weird complex. And in the city where I delivered, there's a specific way that most complexes number their apartments, but this one had it totally backwards. They had it, the number and letter system was backwards compared to normally what was done with the apartment number system. And I immediately contacted them. I called the manager of the apartments, and I figured out, and then I called back. If anything happens like that, you have to call customer service, and you need to clear it up, right away. Don't ignore it, because you'll get texts, and listen to your phone or turn on your text notification, because customers will get your number through the app whenever they order, and you have to keep contact with the customer. You have to tell them, or it's advised that you do that. I didn't do that in the beginning because I didn't realize it. And so you'll have your app from DoorDash, and it'll have all the information, all the order, everything through the app. But if they text you, it's going to come up on your text messaging on your phone, your personal text messaging. So you have to go out of the app and check your text messaging. And last night, actually, that did happen to me. Somebody said that they didn't get, their order was incomplete. But with the COVID going on, they seal the bags, and the driver really doesn't know. There's very few times that the bag is open. I can kind of look in there and eyeball it, but you're not supposed to go digging around in their food or anything like that. Don't touch any of their food or nothing like that. And if something's missing, you can read the receipt that they're supposed to staple the receipt or attach the receipt onto the bag. And they have these stickers that close up the bag. So you really can't dig in there, can't really see. So you have to really basically go by what's on the receipt. And if you ask them, I have asked numerous times, about the sauces, because I know people want their sauces if they don't get whatever extra little condiment. It kind of ruins their meal, They order some foods because of, put this sauce on or this ketchup or barbecue or whatever, ranch. And if they don't get it, it really can ruin their, they were expecting that flavor, in their meal. And so I've asked, politely, I just want to make sure, does it have 2 wrenches or this or that? And most people are okay. But then some of them got frustrated. This one girl, she just, and she ripped the seals on it. She goes, yes. And then she handed it back to me. I was like, can you reseal it? Because I don't want them to think that I got into it. And she was a little moody, kind of a jerk. And I should have put that on the, you'll get a review after you cash out with the customer. And it'll ask about, it's got a list of questions, how everything went. And you just check. And then it has it has one that says something else. And you can print out, if there's issues. I have done that. I have complained about a couple of restaurants. They were totally ignoring me. They weren't paying attention. It was just, it took an extra 5 or 10 minutes for me to get the order. And, it frustrated me. So I let them know. Very slow service. They weren't, whatever, you can, put whatever, or you can compliment them. I've done that too. I said that it was, the fastest service I've ever gotten. They're really polite. And so I do compliment them. And if I have an issue, I write type that out. But I try to keep it to a minimum, only when it's necessary, because you don't want to alienate all the restaurants, because in this app, if nobody wants to use the app, then, you're going to be out of a job. So, use it when necessary. And there's a possibility of being deactivated, like the lady that confronted the CVS worker. She was deactivated, basically fired. From that whole issue, I would say I would have done the same thing, it's outrageous, that lady did that. And she's probably done it before, and she's probably got other people fired. And I think CVS has a responsibility to investigate that, and because they shouldn't want somebody like that, working there. But that's a whole other issue. I already made a video about that. But you might have to deal with something like that, it's a possibility. And there's a lot of ways to get deactivated. So kind of research it, do your due diligence before starting this job. Look up everything, check everything you find on DoorDash, Google everything. Just make sure it's really what you want to do. And you'll get paid through the app. And a few people will give you tips. Not very often. Most people put it in the app, because whenever it shows, when the order comes up, you can decline the orders. And I decline low-paying orders because I'm not wearing my car out. I'm not using my gas. I'm not wasting my time doing this for $1 or $2, If it's like a $4, $4, hell no, I don't do that. Actually, my cutoff is about $6 to $7, because the mileage, I'm putting on my car, like I say, and my car maintenance. And why do I want to wear all this out and spend my own money on gas to make less than minimum wage? That would make no sense. And that brings up Walmart. Walmart orders are awful. I'm going to say that right now, because they are low paying and they're horrible. And some of the people do tip good, because I have gotten, $8, $10, $9, $10, I think maybe $11 or $12 was the biggest tip I've got on Walmart. But a lot of times they don't tip you until after you make the delivery. And I'm not going to wait and see, if somebody's not going to tip me, because I've got several Walmart orders where they didn't tip me. And I was fast, I was courteous, I did everything. And I got nothing, and they were far away deliveries. These are like 15 or 20 miles, and I'm not doing that ever again. I did that when I first started, but I learned, you kind of have to go through a learning process, what you want to do and what you don't. So Walmart needs to step it up, and they need to start, requesting that either there's an automatic gratuity or something, because, and they'll try to hook you up with 2 orders at a time. And it sometimes can take the most I've probably had to wait was maybe 7 or 8 minutes, I would say. But if you have 2 orders and you need enough room, make sure you have enough room in your trunk or your car. I have a big, vehicle. I have a Yukon, so I can take quite a bit of stuff. So it was pretty easy for me, but it was just the hassle of the wait, the low pay, and just in general, I just wrote off Walmart. I'm not going to do their orders anymore. Now if they up the pay to like $10 or $15 or $20, kind of like an Instacart situation, then yeah, I would go back to maybe possibly doing it. And it depends on how big they are, how heavy they are. If you get cases of Cokes and water, I've gotten orders like that with 5 or 6 jugs of tea and milk and a huge case of water, 3 or 4 things of Coke, and a big bag of dog food, and I had to carry it up this long driveway. And then I've had a few of them that I had to take upstairs. I was like, oh, that's BS. I'm not doing that again. And you can make your own schedule somewhat. You just sign into the app, and it'll have about a week's worth of scheduling that you can do. You just click on the day, and you look at, it'll say your area, have a whole bunch of areas, and I remove all the other areas and just my general area. And that way you don't have to go, I think in my area, there's like 83 or 85 or something general areas that they give you. So I just click off all, or cities, whatever. And I just click off the ones that are, nonsense. I don't live in Dallas or Houston or Austin, so I click all the ones off, and if you do that, then it'll bring up only that city that you specifically have highlighted, pretty much. And then you can do that for every day of the week, and then you just go through and decide. My city is divided up into 2 different sections, and it's for about 250,000 people, so it's pretty big delivery area for 2 different sections. I think it should be divided up into 3 sections, really. But, it just depends on your city. And the city I deliver in is in a grid. It's like the streets are pretty much like a grid, back and, north, south, and east and west. And then there's little clutches of neighborhoods, just certain little neighborhoods, and they have their own little patterns. You got to learn them, so I'm sure it's different in different cities, but it can be kind of squirrely. Some of the streets are a little bit squirrely in these little subdivisions, and they're little patches, and the city's growing, and so you'll have GPS. That's one thing on your phone. It's got through the app, you'll be able to use the GPS. So it's really easy to find things. I know this city because I've lived there all my life, and or most of my life. And I used to deliver pizzas. I delivered pizzas there for years. And so, but it grew. It's almost double in size. So I do have to use the GPS for a lot of stuff. But a lot of it I already know. I can just get in the car, read the address. But I would always check the address, check the notes, because there's a couple times they'll put the wrong address, or they'll call you. The customer will try to call you, and I think they kind of do it on purpose. They'll put a closer address in this one area, and they'll put like a $2 tip, but then they want it to be delivered all the way downtown to like a college campus or something like that. To me, that's a nightmare. I don't like delivering to the college because I don't know it, and it's a huge college, and the dorms are, stories high, and I don't like it. And for $1 or $2, I'm not doing that. And especially if you want me to wait there for 10 minutes while you're getting dressed, and, you're not really waiting for your food, I don't mess with that. And that's probably most of the points that I can tell you about. But I really like it. It's a good part-time job. I was doing it full-time, but it was wearing, on my car, and I did get a regular full-time job, and now I am doing this. I've decided to do it on the weekends, kind of part-time, not too much. And I'll be taking off from my regular job at Christmas for almost 2 weeks. The place I work at is going to shut down for almost between Christmas and New Year's. And so I'm going to do DoorDash pretty much. I'm going to try to work out my schedule, enough to pay my bills. And then I'll go back to my regular job and just do the DoorDash on the weekend. So it makes a great part-time job too. Okay, just giving y'all some information about DoorDash, just in case if you're wondering if you could do this job, have you ever done it before, pizza delivery or anything like that, catering or something like that, then you'll kind of already know pretty much how it is. And to me, it's super easy. I love it. And if you don't take the lowball orders, if DoorDash will learn that, you're not going to deliver something for $3 and no tip, because DoorDash pays part of your pay, and then so does a tip, which, it can make or break, if you get a high paying order, that tip. And just try to give good service. And I always try to text the customer if I'm waiting, or if the time for when the food's going to be delivered, I text them and I tell them I'm waiting at the restaurant right now, or they don't have your food ready, and I'll wait. And usually, almost always, they'll text me back, oh, thank you so much, or, they're usually pretty polite. I've had one person want to cancel, and he goes, don't worry, I've canceled it. And there's one thing about that, when I have had a cancellation, I think I've had like 2 or 3 of them. I called the restaurant. You need to call the restaurant, because you don't want to steal or take somebody's food. The way I see it, or I think it's in the app also, you're supposed to call and return the food to the restaurant. But with the COVID and everything like that, I do it just for the obligatory call, so they can tell me, no, you can't bring it back, just keep it. So I've gotten a few free meals, but I don't know if that's going to ever change, but I don't think they're ever going to want the food back, because I wouldn't want it after it's been in somebody's car. They can't use it. So that is a little bit of a perk, but that doesn't happen very often. It's great when it happens, but okay. And I've gotten to eat at a few restaurants and I've never eaten it because of that. Well, thank you so much for coming to my channel, and hope this helps anybody if you want to start driving for DoorDash or Uber or whatever. There's Postmates. There's a lot of different companies too, but I think I really like DoorDash. So. All right. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good night.